Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, what is the greatest gift in the world? This is a very easy question to answer. If you ask people from Mumbai to Manchester, from New Zealand to New York, you will get the same reply. Love is the greatest gift in the world. All over our country, over this weekend, people will have been married, and somewhere during that wedding service, that incredible definition of love from the New Testament will have been read to them. Love never fails. Love is gentle. Love is kind, and it will end like this. And now remain three: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. It is easy to answer that question. The greatest gift in the world is love. But hard on the heels of love, tenaciously pursuing love, is a second gift. And if this gift is not given, it is almost impossible for a husband, a wife, a partner, a friend, and especially a child to believe that they are loved. It is the gift of acceptance. Imagine the scene. A woman is 40 years old, she's slim, she's attractive, she looks half her age. And her daughter of 14 comes into the room, slightly overweight. And in my presence, this woman says to her daughter, "You know what, Sarah? I'm 40 and you're 14. And prodding her daughter's tubby stomach, she says, "And I'm in better shape than you." Does that woman love her daughter? Oh yes, she does. Does she observe the greatest gift? Of course. But does she have the second gift? No. And unless that child can believe she is accepted, she will never believe she is loved. A professor of 55, a professor at Oxford, remembers with startling clarity an occasion when he was 13 years old. He is running down the street, he is running up the drive for his home, he is shouting his father's name, he is waving a piece of paper above his head. "Dad, Dad!" He hammers on the door, his father opens the door. "I came second in the music exam in my whole county." He's 55 years old, and he's a professor in one of the most prestigious universities in the world, and he still remembers the 5 words his father said that day. "Won't you ever come first?" An expert said this. He said, when it comes to young people today, it is much harder to be young. In fact, he said the language of young people is this: am I loved? He said it's a much more difficult question for young people to answer today. Our young people are amongst the most tested educationally in Europe. The exams begin at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, go up to A level. The world screams at them, "We will love you if you achieve." This is not the problem for the rebellious child. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem for the compliant child. This is the girl of 15 who worries that she got 9 A stars and 1 A, and practically had a breakdown because she dropped an A. This is the boy of 14 who considered hacking into his school's computer system to raise his maths grades by 5 points to please his father. A recent report of Glasgow University gave a frightening comment. It said, compared with young people just 15 years ago, young girls, particularly between the ages of 13 and 16, are worryingly much more disturbed. They are struggling to find acceptance, they are struggling to please, but they are finding it's very hard. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not just achievement, it's looks. The world screams at our young people, "If you look like this, we will love you." Look at our celebrities. Look at their airbrushed faces. Look at their airbrushed lives. Their magazines, teenage magazines, helpfully ring in red the cellulite of the stars. It points out to these young people, "Look, this one has got little fat. This one is sagging. We took a photograph of this one at 4 o'clock in the morning as they came out of the nightclub. See how it compares with the one we took on the red carpet at 8 o'clock the night before. See how old they look. See how we will judge you." 50% of teenage girls believe they are overweight, no matter what their weight. The same proportion would like a tummy tuck. 15% of teenage girls believe that what would change their lives is a nose reconstruction and would like that cosmetic surgery for Christmas or birthday present. Who will stand for a child in such a world? If not a mother, if not a father. Which is why the silliest thing in the whole universe is a beautiful baby competition. Because although these parents love the child, although they have the greatest gift, they forget the second gift. What on earth does a beautiful baby look like? And what on earth have adults who ought to know better got doing looking into prams, adjudicating on which and which is not a beautiful baby? If that child is a girl, she has the whole of her life in front of her, with people who will judge her by how she looks. It ought not to begin with a mother and father. A woman writes to an agony aunt, "Dear Claire, I was a disappointment to my father. He wanted a son. He probably loved me, although he never told me he did, but he didn't accept me. He never praised me. He thought praise might make me big-headed. My self-esteem is very low. I am often riddled with guilt." And then she wrote these words, "Claire, I am 85 years old. 85 years old. I've tried to imagine as a little girl of 5 running home with a painting for her father, but she painted roses and dolls, and he wanted paintings of railways and footballs because he wanted a son and he could not accept her. She tried to dress as a teenager to please him, but she could not please him because he wanted her to become somebody she just couldn't be. He wanted her to be a chartered accountant. That was his dream for his son. She wanted to be an actress. Nothing wrong with being a chartered accountant, except she was meant to dance her way through life, and she spent 40 years crunching numbers to please the one who gave her the greatest gift, but could not give her the second greatest gift. And he is long since dead. And she'll be dead soon. She's 85, for goodness sake. But even now, he stands like a ghost at her shoulder, demanding she become somebody she just cannot be. Because although he loves, he cannot give the second greatest gift. He cannot accept. Some years ago, a small boy of 8 caught the imagination of a nation with a little poem. It wasn't a great poem, but it summed up how so many of us feel. When we pick teams in the playground, whatever the game might be, there's always somebody left to last, and usually it's me. I stand there looking hopeful and tapping myself on the chest, but they always pick the others first, beginning with the best. Perhaps one day, if teams are picked beginning with the worst, then once in a while a boy like me could end up coming first. Thomas Ahern, age 8. Thomas Ahern's only hope in life, educationally, sociologically, even spiritually, is in that the great playground of life. When he's 20 or 30 or 40, someone will shout across to him, "Thomas, you do not look the best. You are not the best, but I love you anyway. I give you the second greatest gift."